too much spending. I mean, we're in an economic recession, but we're still spending too much. And he actually has increased spending in this budget.
No, we really haven't reduced structural spending. We're heavily dependent on, as yet, unfinalized federal revenues to balance the budget. And it leads to the question what happens when the revenues from Washington no longer are available to us. The governor is actually proposing that we spend more money than we did last year when revenues are way down. If you look at it closely, his numbers are based upon a hypothetical infusion of about $2 billion of federal stimulus money, which is far from certain at this point in time.
I think that's the first thing we should do. See what programs really work. If they don't work, let's get rid of them.
To really get some serious cutting, though, can we really do it by slashing this $100 million program and that $100 million? Don't we have to go after DPW, corrections, or education, the popular stuff, the difficult stuff?
Okay, let's talk about, that's my favorite subject, which you happen to land upon. It's very easy for people to say, we've got to cut welfare. 68% of our welfare calls are from the disabled and the elderly. We live in the third oldest state in the country. We are not going to throw grandma out of the nursing home. We are not. And what's happened is people are living longer and longer. They tell me, I never expected to live this long. I spend all my money, and so I end up on medical assistance in a nursing home. That's welfare. That's the same thing. That is what's driving our state budget.
You know, every member is going to have something they like or don't like, and we're going to always kind of quibble over which ones. I support the direction the governor has set in the past few months, you know, with trimming back some of these programs, and we'll get into the nuts and bolts of the specific programs in due time, but I think it's a good direction to go.
Where do we cut? What do we do? Corrections, DPW, and education?
Those are the big ones. There's no question about it. Well, that is the question that we have the next 8 to 12 weeks to work on in our appropriations committees and in the standing committees of the House and the Senate. The Education Committee, which I chair in the Senate, will be having at least 2 days of hearings on every dollar of the education budget. So we may find some ways of making that budget a little more tight than it already has been proposed. So the process has ways of working these things out, and we'll see how that goes.
Should be about earning revenue, not trying to save money by cutting jobs. Thank you.
There are thousands of families who today have decided they can't afford to send their kids to college who might depend on this, so you better listen.